The summary, Karina, is what got you here won't get you there. So you find that people are scared of change because they want to do things because this is how we do it here. But actually, that is a quick way to be irrelevant. Most caregivers are lovely, wonderful people. But there are a few bad eggs out there that might say they went somewhere where they didn't go. Or they didn't stay the time that they needed to stay.
Right.
Or they just drive past and say they were there.
What would you say to the owner who has been told that struggling is just part of running a home care agency and that the chaos, the cash problems, the sleepless nights, that is just how it is? But what gap did you see in the home care market that made you decide that the only option was to build Nomia HQ yourself? There's a lot of softwares out there, but honestly, I haven't heard one like this.
If you care for your business and your staff, you're there to care for yourself and your staff so they can go and care for your clients.
Yes.
And if you don't do that and grow safely, it will be short-lived.
When an agency normally comes to Nomia HQ, what is usually the first thing you discover that they did not even know was a problem before they found you?
Oh.
Hi, Kay. I'm super excited to have you on today. Very excited. So let's jump right into it. So you were born in Zambia, where caring for family wasn't a service. It was simply how people loved each other. How did growing up in that world shape the kind of leader and builder you became?
Oh, very interesting question. Growing up that way makes me working in the care industry so natural. You know, I'm so used to having that multi-generational living and having that support network. What that taught me really is the value of community. And everybody in the community brings value. And, you know, I don't know if you've heard the old age saying, it takes a village to raise a child, but it takes that same village to excel and look after each other.
I love that. That is so important in this industry to remember that it does take a village and to be able to use what you had coming up into where you are now is beautiful. So I want to say you came to the UK 25 years ago and you was qualified as a care manager and you launched Care First in Bristol, running the business and delivering care at the same time. So what did that hands-on experience teach you about this industry that most software companies will never truly understand?
Oh, fascinating. So firstly, when I started with very little money. So I didn't have investment. I remortgaged my house at the time. So I had to do everything. And on top of that, I don't know if I mentioned, but I was a teenage mom. So I already had my daughter at that time starting school. So I had to balance all of those things. And what I learned about this industry is that care is very chaotic. It's very like spinning plates all the time. If you don't have systems in place, it will run you. You won't run it.
Right.
That is what I learned.
That is important for agency owners to understand. If you do not have systems in place, it will run you.
Yeah.
And listen, I see them all the time where their agency is running them all the time. So you looked at every tool available on the market. You decided none of them were good enough, right? And you built your own platform from the ground up. What was the vision that you could see that nobody else was building toward?
Oh, so firstly is how things connect. So it's a bit like when you're building a house. If you build a house, which is a 3-bedroom house, and then you want it to be a 5-bed and a 6-bed and a 10-bed, you keep adding and adding and adding. And that's what I found was on the market. You had software that was designed not for the care industry. So someone might have a product that was for recruitment or hospitality, and then they try and bodge one thing to the other, and the systems didn't connect. So what I wanted to do really was build a product which was a well-designed house, to use that as an example, with all the foundations in place, with good understanding of the knock-on effect. For example, if a caregiver drops a shift, what does that mean? If you've got a scheduler that's stressed, they need to go and do a school run. They've also got the client on the phone and the client's daughter on the phone complaining. Living that experience and being there at the thick of it. Really, I'm very strict to make sure that the developers that code our product understand that whole start to finish.
Right.
Because it's a circle that must connect.
Right. That's important. That is very important. You said a few things, but I'm going to touch on it later because it's important to dive into those pieces that you said that they're really not thinking about. But I do want to ask, though, when it comes to seeing like, okay, so there's different versions, or I should say there are different pieces of the software that solves the puzzle in their agency, but not one software solves every single thing in their agency. And that's why you created the product or the software to do what it does today, right?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so the platform that you built to run your own agency is now used by providers across the UK, and you guys are in the US, right?
Yes, we're here. Yeah, we're here. We're here. We're here.
So what does it mean personally? Something that you created out of pure necessity is now transforming how tons of owners run their businesses.
How it feels personally to me is I will digress a little bit just so you can understand sort of the concept and my motivation. I'm always a builder, I'm always a creator. And it comes to a point where you need to scale, but I'd like to scale and remain human. So my options were I developed my home care agency to five branches, sold that to a venture capital company. And also, the other thing I wanted to really touch on is thinking about what that process taught me. It's not just about building, scaling, and being safe. It's also when the exit comes, what information do you have?
Right.
Because they will dig right back from, this year, the year before, and all the way they will really look into your business.
Right.
So again, I wanted to make sure that experience transcended to that. And the reason I sold that business, I'm still working in care now. I still have a supported living business and I still work care, but that home care, the reason I sold it, it's got so big to a point where we either had to get really corporate,
right,
but I like to stay involved.
Right.
So I either had to franchise the business, become really corporate, or teach people how to deliver care. And to me, this is how I'm teaching people how to deliver good care. I don't see myself as a software provider. I still see myself as a care provider.
Right.
Only now my clients are the home care owners. Right? But I'm a care provider. Yeah, and I always will be.
I love that. Delivering the care, you now teach them how to deliver care. That is so important in their business. A lot of times you're chasing millions of dollars. I mean, which is fine, but care comes first.
Care comes first.
You got to have that first. And then once you have that, delivering the care is so important. That's the most important thing. And a lot of times they're forgetting that thing. You have to deliver this care. And that's what's going to make you wealthy in whatever areas in your business.
Correct. If you care for your business and your staff, you're there to care for yourself and your staff so they can go and care for your clients.
Yes.
And if you don't do that and grow safely, it will be short-lived.
Listen to what Kay just said. You have to care for your staff first because your staff is the one that cares for the client. It's not the opposite way around, because when they build like that, they're putting the business really on the back burner because the staff is connected to the clients.
Exactly.
Real quick, when was the last time you actually knew and not guessed exactly where your business stood financially? That gap right there is the difference between owning a business and being owned by one. Most home care owners, they know their revenue, but there are 3 very important numbers that most home care owners never think about that will either grow their business or cause it to fail. And that's what we call your labor number, your profit per hour, and your cash runway. Within minutes, you will find out your custom numbers to your agency and not the agency numbers down the street, but yours. Because what works for another agency may not work for you, and running your business on someone else's numbers is one of the most expensive mistakes in this industry. Owners who finally get the understanding of these 3 numbers told me it was the moment that everything made sense to them. So drop the word cash in the comments below and I will send you a special link to your home care cash map tailored for your agency. Now let's get back to the episode. Something else that I heard you say, I don't know if they understood what you said, but exit. What is
Yes,
your plan going to be for your business? We talk to our clients about this all the time when they come to us. Are you planning to exit the business, or are you planning to keep it in the family? And the software that you built is built to help you to be able to exit your business.
exactly.
Can you explain a little bit, just a teeny bit about
So
that?
it's so things like when you get your business to be valued,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, people look at it from, I am turning over X amount. And, some of the people I speak to, they don't even know the difference between turnover and profit.
Right.
I'm looking for X million of dollars for this business. Justify it. How can you show that you've got sustainable income?
Right.
So if you've got someone who is not recording things properly, their risk assessments are not in place, your compliance
Right.
is outside the door, that potential buyer will say, look, your business is not safe. Yes, you're making all this money, but
Mhm.
once you unpick it, the recruitment is compromised, or the records on, your care might be very, very good on paper, and your
Right.
clients might love you,
Right.
but that doesn't speak the numbers. And the
Right.
records have to be right. So I've made sure that the product is easy to use,
Mm-hmm.
and the communication between all the different parts of the business, from finance
Mm-hmm.
to the caregivers, to the agency owner, to any consultant that's coming in, that is manageable with clear roles and permissions as well, because there will be certain information that you don't want everyone in the business to see.
Correct.
So,
Yeah.
having that audit trail.
That's very important, because if you don't have it, and understand this, when you get your business evaluated, or these valuations, you could lose millions of dollars if your agency, if they can't see that, okay, you have this amount coming in, this amount going out, this is what it's valued at, If you don't have it, you'll lose money. So if you don't have an exit plan, you'll lose a lot of money behind not having that. So that's important. I just had to stress that a little bit. So what gap did you see in the home care market that made you decide that the only option was to build Nomia HQ yourself?
It's the lack of understanding. You speak to a developer and they will say, oh, but why don't you just do it this way?
Mm-hmm.
But they don't understand our market. They don't understand how a caregiver, who's usually a mom and has caring responsibilities themselves,
Right.
they don't have time to be speaking to a chat box or reading piles and piles of articles to understand how a product works.
Right.
They want a product that speaks the way they speak, the language that they use in their
Right.
day-to-day communication. And it was that lack of understanding. And even other things that were out there that were health related,
Mm-hmm.
they are targeted at health experts. When you're writing for a medical doctor and you're writing for someone who is a caregiver,
Mm-hmm.
or even a care administrator, the language and the tone needs to relate.
Correct.
And to me, that was,
That's important.
yeah.
Very important, because if it doesn't relate, nobody understands what you're saying.
Exactly.
Exactly. Just like if you're having a conversation with somebody, you're speaking over their head, they're like, are you talking to me?
Exactly. It's a bit like, when I speak to you and you remove those fancy accountancy terms and you bring it down to the language that I can speak. And I think that's really, really important.
Yeah, it is very important. I will say there's something that you said when you was giving me your background about you being a young mother, we see that a whole lot. So that was your motivation to get to where you are now,
Yeah, definitely. My daughter drives me to this day. She's a very, very high achieving girl. She's a barrister in London, very, very academic, but has always supported the business.
Yeah.
My two sons as well. Karina, I've got 3 children, and there's 10 years apart. All my 3 children.
10 years apart. I don't think I could do that.
One every decade. I should write a book.
No, starting over every
Yeah,
10
yeah.
years.
So honestly, so I have been that mom that you running your business, you've got to remember I used to have my Nokia 3210, even up to now if I hear I want to run away because that could be a client on the phone or
Right,
it could be one of my staff and I've got to do the school run, so it's always been how can this be easier?
right.
How can this be easier?
Mm,
So
mm. Yeah, I
yeah.
really like that. Listen, I don't have a home care agency, but I'm excited hearing about how the software it helps with a lot of these issues. So that's very exciting. So what were home care agencies doing before Nomia HQ existed, and what was that actually costing them in time, money, and growth?
Oh, a lot. So starting from people without any systems at all.
Mhm.
Someone might have a spreadsheet over here. People are compromising HIPAA
Mhm.
and GDPR compliance because they're talking about their clients in WhatsApp groups.
Mm.
People are taking images because their caregivers don't have the tools. So maybe they want to
Right.
report something, they take a picture of something in someone's house. The image stays on that staff member's phone,
Yeah.
which is really not right.
Right.
Because for the dignity of the people we support, we need to protect that information.
Right.
So there is that. Some people might be subscribing to different products. So they will have a product for scheduling, product for invoicing, different product for the mobile app.
Right.
And some people are still doing paper assessments, literally driving to
Yes.
someone
Yes.
2 hours away with a piece of paper, filling in an assessment, driving back to their office. I mean,
Right. That you're
it's
absolutely
not
correct.
1962. Things have moved on. So I really, really want to encourage
Yeah.
home care owners and supported living, any care providers to really embrace technology.
Right. You said a lot of things. I was going to come up again, but I just got to speak on it. The compliance portion.
Huge.
Can we dive into that a little bit? So, with the compliance portion, you have everything is right there at your fingertips. You can speak with the caregiver all in the same portal, right?
Yes, yeah, all in the same portal. You can also email anyone else you want to email or SMS. So
Mm-hmm.
if someone who might not be your caregiver, your member of
Right.
staff, let's say someone needs a physical therapist, you can email that physical therapist from the platform.
Wow.
Yeah, so you don't have to be juggling too many,
Right. Right.
too many things. Yeah.
That solves a lot of different pieces in an agency. Like if I don't have to go straight to my phone to call the physical therapist, hey, I can just go right in the software and do
Yeah.
everything. I have a paper trail.
You do, you do, you do. And
Yeah.
also, if you were, for example, traveling, you're a home care
Yeah.
agency owner or a care business owner, you are away on vacation, you get a phone call from your staff to say the license inspector is there. You don't want to be panicking
Right.
because you've got that information. You can look on your phone, you can look on your iPad, see what's going on in the office, you can answer the questions.
Right.
You don't need to be getting a nervous breakdown because an inspector is in your
Right.
service. You really have to be on top of the game, on top of that information.
Yeah, this
So
is
yeah.
awesome. There's a lot of softwares out there, but honestly, I haven't heard one like this. This is beautiful. I mean, it's important. They're going to have to get this. So, what does the home care industry look like right now when agencies are still running on outdated or disconnected tools? I know we spoke about it. You briefly said something about it. So, what does it look like? Outdated and disconnected tools.
Yeah, I think as care providers, we're really caring, we're really loyal people, and
Mm-hmm.
we like things. So you find that people are scared of change
Mm-hmm.
because they want to do things because this is how we do it here.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, that is a quick way to be irrelevant.
Mm.
So if I could use an example, you're probably too young, but there used to be a company called Kodak. They used to do printed films. They were on top of their game, but they didn't embrace the change in technology.
Right.
And I'm sure people like your age and younger probably don't even know who they are.
Right.
So, there is that we need to be versatile. We shouldn't be left behind. we need to be open-minded. We need to see other ways of doing things.
Right, right.
Which is really, really, really important.
That is very important. When you don't have an open mind, you start hitting a brick wall.
Yes.
Because the times are changing. Just like we're used to the newspaper, right? But now, what is our newspaper? You got social media, you got Google, different. It has evolved.
Yeah.
And if you don't get evolved, you're going to be left behind.
Yeah. But
So,
apart from that as well, Karina, we're very short-staffed in the care sector.
Right.
Everywhere you go, there's staff shortages,
Mm-hmm.
which means your systems need to really maximize what you can achieve with a few people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really, really important to give your care team tools that they can work with, that they love, an app that they love, so
Right.
they enjoy coming to work.
Yes.
Your schedulers shouldn't be pulling their hair out. They should be skipping to come to your office to come and work.
Right.
But we need to do a lot more with less staff. It's where we are at the moment.
Caregiver retention is big.
It's huge.
It's huge. I mean, the last I seen, I think it was like 76%.
Yeah.
For the turnover rate.
You just have to love your staff. Train them.
Yes.
Appreciate them. And give them good tools to work with. There's no shortcut.
What is it? There's no shortcut.
No.
You pour into your staff pours into your clients.
Exactly.
Okay, if nothing changes, the same tools, the same blind spots, same business running the owner instead of the owner running the business, where does that agency end up in 3 years? But you already told them.
Yeah.
What word did you use?
Oh, I can't remember. What did I say?
Basically non-existent.
Yes.
Non-existent.
Yeah, irrelevant.
That's the word you use, irrelevant. They're going to be irrelevant. So you have to, and AI is here too.
Yeah. Oh, that's a whole big conversation.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Because
but I think the summary, Karina, is what got you here won't get you there.
Right.
So if you are in a situation where you think, you know what, I love my business, but I'm stressed, I feel like I'm chasing my tail. If you don't change things,
right,
you still be cycling.
Correct.
At that position, and then you find that your mental health gets affected, your health gets affected. You need that. You need to work smart.
Yes, work smarter, not harder. Adapt.
Then you have time to love your staff.
Yes, very true. I'm telling you, listen, when you work with your feet and your hands all day, it's exhausting. But using your brain, it's tiring. It's like, I got to go to sleep so I can think for the next day.
Exactly.
And to come back refreshed. So definitely work smarter and not harder.
Yeah.
Man, Kay, you giving them some gold on here.
I've been around a long time.
So after working with multiple agencies across the UK and now the US, what is the one thing that you wish every home care owner understood about what it actually takes to run a truly sustainable business?
Oh, 3 things that you should always ask yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Is my business secure?
Mm-hmm.
Is it safe?
Mm-hmm.
And do I run my business properly? And if you can't answer yes to those 3, then it's a problem.
Yeah. Is my business secure?
Yeah.
Is my business safe? And do I run my business properly?
Yes.
Y'all remember those, because I'm not going to know if I'm going to remember to repeat that. Is my business secure? Is my business safe? And do I run my business properly? Kay said, ask yourself those 3 questions.
Yes.
Those are important questions.
Huge questions.
They are, because if it's not secure, we got a security issue. Now you have to fix that.
Exactly.
That could be multiple layers.
Yeah.
You have caregivers, you have clients,
yeah.
You have your staff that's in the office, yourself, not to mention.
Yes.
Wow. Some jewels right there. Okay, so when an agency normally comes to Nomia HQ, what is usually the first thing you discovered that they did not even know was a problem before they found you?
Oh, it will be things like their paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
They might have one person did an assessment for them 12 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
It was supposed to have been checked 6 months ago, but it hadn't been checked. Or they had a service agreement with someone for, let's say, 25 hours of care a week, but actually they've been delivering 30. and somewhere the miscommunication has happened, so they're under invoicing.
Wow.
And they're having payments rejected.
Right.
Yeah, because they're trying to push it to the next day.
Yeah.
I'll do compliance the next day, the next day, the next day.
And don't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Look, I'm so excited about this software. Okay,
So am I.
Yeah. I'm really excited. It really helps with them to be able to have forward-facing information to run their agency. When it comes to advisory, what we do, we help you to be able to scale and get to the next level, but the software really helps you to be able to see in real time what's going on with your caregivers, what's going on with your clients, and what's going on with the office staff to see if you're even running like a machine.
Exactly.
When it comes to that portion, which is very important. So I hope that they understand what you're saying, the magnitude of what you're saying. It's really important. Okay, so walk us through what actually happens inside Nomia HQ from the moment a caregiver clocks in to the moment that an invoice goes out. And I just want to be clear before I actually ask you that. What type of agencies is the platform ideal for?
Okay, so the platform is ideal for anyone who delivers care in the community. So you could be a hospice agency, you could be a home health agency, you could do skilled, non-skilled,
Mm-hmm.
As long as it's community based.
Okay.
It's not for hospitals,
Right.
yeah, or setups like that. So I think the best way is if we started from the client journey. Right.
Mhm.
So when you get a client from that phone call rings to say, so and so is looking for care for their mom or whoever it is
Right.
that made that phone call, you capture that person as a prospect on our platform.
Mhm.
You quickly have a look, and the system will help you to see whether you've got capacity to service that area or that need or those hours, because you don't want to be wasting time going to send the nurse to run an assessment
Right.
when you don't have the resource.
I don't want to cut you off, but a lot of them actually deal with this. They may not have no one in the area, so they have to fill a position for a caregiver to be able to take care of that client in that area that they don't have. So they're
Yeah.
scrambling.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So that already saves you time right there.
Right.
But you still keep that information. You tell them nicely that you can help them at this moment in time, but you still have that data. So when you recruit in that area, you can reach back to that person and say, we now have availability.
Right.
Assuming they had the space, they go and book an assessment. So maybe as a care administrator, I don't do assessments myself. I can, through the app, message my nurse to say,
Right.
I've got an inquiry for you, such and such a place. There's a document. The nurse doesn't have to come to the office. I don't need to give them anything. They will see all the information are captured on there. They'll go and drive to do the assessment. As they're doing the assessment in the property, it is updating our back end. So then when she's finished and she tells us, it's good, we can provide this care, she doesn't need to be driving back to us. And if there was some gaps in the information, for example, we needed to find out what extra support or needs and likes and dislikes that they have, and we need to speak to the daughter. It's usually the daughter normally. I'm sure there's some sons out there that help, but it's usually the daughter that you need to phone, because you need to really understand what their likes and dislikes are.
Yes.
What do they like to eat when? What does their
Yes.
routine look like? So even the scheduler can capture that information and help complete that care plan.
Right.
Without having to have that disjointed information. Then from there, once you've done that, you can put your service agreements on there. The schedule is templated indefinitely. You don't need to keep scheduling all the time. So once you do all of that, you assign your caregiver. The caregiver will see the notification on their mobile app that they've got a new client. They'll be able to view the care plan. They'll be able to read the notes, but they can only make any changes when they are actually at the property or within a certain vicinity of the property. Because unfortunately, most caregivers are lovely, wonderful people, but there are a few bad eggs out there that might say they went somewhere where they didn't go, or they didn't stay the time that they needed to stay.
Right.
Or they just drive past and say they were there when they didn't get in. Honestly,
Right. That's
These
so
25
cute.
years has shown me so many tricks that people will try, I'm telling you. But
Yeah.
anyway, so they'll clock in, they clock out. That's your invoice done. That's your timesheet done as well.
Right. That's important.
Yeah.
The software solves a lot of issues because you'll have them, they'll be at the client house, then they got to go to the store. You got to go to the store on the clock.
Yeah.
How is that? So I like that they can't change anything
No.
unless they're actually at the property.
Yes. And the agency owner can adjust it. They might want to say, look, I will, for this particular one, I'll allow 100 meters, for example, because maybe it's a high rise flat or something like that. You want to give them a bit of time. But no. And also, you don't want when a caregiver or staff nurse is on holiday and reading client notes.
Right.
It's not respecting people's data.
So they can't even get in there unless they're.
Yeah, they have to be there.
Ooh, that's really good.
Yeah.
So work is work.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so they're treated exactly as a caregiver.
Yes.
That's really good. I really like that. That's important. Man, the Nomia HQ solves a lot of problems.
It does.
Solves a lot of problems. So what does onboarding look like for a new agency coming onto Nomia HQ? What can they expect in the first few weeks?
Okay. So what they can expect, firstly, is we would make sure that we understand their needs and their challenges. We'll plan training for them and their team. And depending on how big the company is, we might need to have different team members for different parts of training. So for example, if they have someone who just works in finance, we can train that person in finance, so we'll hold their hand until they go live. They should also expect to be challenged in terms of how they do things, because it's an opportunity to rethink, to reevaluate, see if there's things that they need to tweak or change. And we'll advise them. So if we can give them that advice, we'll signpost them. So, for example, if we're onboarding someone and we really think they could really benefit with working out their pricing or their invoicing, we'll suggest to them to go and speak to an accountant or maybe to bring in someone who can help them with their compliance,
Right.
because it's in our interest for them to succeed.
Correct.
They succeed, we succeed.
Correct. That's very important.
Yeah.
I see that you love what you do, and the platform, it has a lot of love behind it. I can see that. I can hear it. So if I can hear it, I know they can hear it. If it were me, I would be racing to get it today, to have another set of eyes in your business and to really help you try to get to the next level is very important. So I think that's beautiful. So what are the compliance risks that agencies are unknowingly carrying when they are managing care records manually across these disconnected platforms?
It could be something as simple as caregiver goes to see Mary. Mary is not critically ill that day, but she just doesn't look herself. Caregiver thinks, right, I'll write it in the notes. Hopefully my next colleague that comes in will pick that up.
Yeah.
And then they will ring for medical help. And the next one thinks the same thing.
Right.
So then before you know it, this person ends up having, let's say it was a UTI. I'm saying UTI. Some people might not know what I mean. Like,
they know what you mean.
Okay, all right,
Yeah,
that's fine.
So
let's say it's a UTI brewing, right? If you can catch that early, you help that person not to be in pain.
Yes.
And also, it's not like caregivers don't care. It's just that I've done my shift, I've written my notes, they've gone off home.
Right.
But if that concern can be raised on the mobile app so that the people in the office can see it in real time, that the caregiver has said, Mary is not herself today.
Right.
If they see that same note in the next few hours, that person can then quickly think, you know what, we better get help.
Right.
Before it's too late. And that's win-win for everybody, because if that person gets admitted to hospital, they're unhappy, they're in pain, it's just not dignified.
Right.
But also, what does it mean for your agency? Are you getting paid whilst that person is in hospital? You know,
Right.
what happens if they end up deteriorating and then they have to move to a more
Right.
like hospice
Right.
service or something else, or relocate to part of their family, or because you haven't done all you can to prevent
Right.
that hospital admission.
That happens a lot. It's
It
in their
does.
best interest to make sure that the caregivers document proper notes so that the next person that comes in or the office staff
Yeah.
can see exactly what is happening with that particular client.
Yeah. But if it's on paper, how will the care administrator know that
Right.
that caregiver wrote those consents in the book?
Right. That's very true because it just
Yeah.
stays there.
It will just stay there.
Very important. So, what is the measurable difference you see in agencies before Nomia HQ and after?
I would say, I think I talked about feeling that your business or knowing that your business is secure.
Yes.
So the fact that as a care agency owner or administrator or stakeholder,
Mhm.
you can at a glance see how your business is performing and see alerts on a dashboard if there's an issue. You
Right.
can sleep at night.
They can sleep at night.
Yes.
That's important. A lot of agency owners, when they come to us, they can't sleep through the night.
There you
They're
go.
up, so when we come in, we help give them more vision in their business. Just look, this is what you need to do. What's working, what's not working. So all these things work hand in hand.
They do.
This is awesome. So what is the biggest operational win that your clients report in 90 days?
Improve staff satisfaction.
Mm,
Yeah.
that's important.
It is. Schedulers love our product. People in the field love our product. It's that satisfaction.
Okay.
And also, because our system is designed to be able to have an element of customization.
Yeah.
So if you've got an agency owner who's a complete beginner, they don't know what they're doing, they can go on with use our templates. But if you've got someone that's really seasoned and they want to make some tweaks, they can do that. The way I put it is, why build when you can customize?
Ain't that the truth? Why build when you can customize? I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's important. Okay, so and when you say customize, what pieces can it customize?
They can customize the forms they use for the assessments. They can issue all their policies and procedures to their staff if they want to, because you want to have that audit trail.
Right.
You don't want a staff member saying, you never told me to do things this way.
Right.
Because you've got it there and they can read it through their mobile app and you can see that they've read and received that information.
Right.
So all of that information that they communicate with their clients or their caregivers, they can customize.
This is so good. I gotta stop saying it, but it's really good because their policies and procedures. I mean, I heard one agency, they had like over 400 caregivers. The employees didn't even have the handbook with the policies and procedures, and they wanted to discipline them. But you can't do that.
You can't do that.
Yeah, because they don't know what's going on.
And this is the compliance.
Yes.
The compliance section that we talked about earlier. And also with 400 staff, you can't physically check every single file.
Right.
You have to delegate.
Yes.
But how do you check over that person you have delegated to in a very easy way?
Right. This is really good. Really, really, really good. So okay, there are other home care software companies out there taking owners' money every single month. So what does Nomia HQ do that those companies were never built to do, which I think I kind of know, and why does that gap cost owners more than they will ever realize?
I think I come back to that staff retention, like I said.
Yeah.
Because if you've got systems that are clunky, that your staff don't enjoy using, you will lose staff. Because they get stressed, they get burned out. The staff retention, not just for caregivers, is for the schedulers as well.
Right.
Because if they're working with tools that are disjointed or they're accused of something, say, for example, an incident happened and the caregiver says, oh, I phoned, but the scheduler didn't let so and so know. Then you have he says, she says in your business. You can't be doing that. There needs to be an audit trail. I raised this at this time. You can see from the system what the caregiver or the they said,
Right.
when the scheduler received it, what action they took after that, all of that should be documented.
Yeah.
Then everybody in the business feels safe.
Right.
And you as an agency owner coming back to that being able to sleep, because all you need to do is go on your dashboard, see if there's any reds there,
Right.
deal with the reds, and then go about your day.
Yeah, this is important. I This is very important. Like it's really big because a lot of times they're not paying attention to these things. So it's really big. So I know they heard this from you. You sat in the owner's chair. You felt every pressure, every gap, every sleepless night. How does that make the way you built Nomia HQ completely different from software design by people who have never once even ran an agency?
It's a bit like, I'll give a completely different example. You and I are moms, and there's so many gynecologists there who are men, and they've never given birth. Now,
Right.
I'm not saying those people can do a good job. I'm sure they do a very good job.
Right.
But there is something to be said when you're sat next to a midwife or a gynecologist who themselves
Right.
have gone through pregnancy and given birth.
Yeah.
So I might not be able to give the exact words but I hope that analogy explains it.
Oh, it explains a lot. I definitely understand. It is different, very different.
Yeah.
Because it's a disconnect the other way.
Yes.
So what is the single decision that separates the agency owners who built something that gives them their life back from the ones who spend years working hard and end up with nothing to show for it?
I think sometimes it's the decision and people not being true to themselves.
Mm.
Because, for example, if you're happy being what I call self-employed, what I mean by self-employed is you're not running a business. You've got a few nurses, caregivers in your team. Maybe there's only 10 of them.
Right.
You are happy with the money you're making at that point. You shouldn't feel you have to scale.
Right.
Be happy being small.
Right.
Whereas if you want to scale and you want to grow, again, be happy and be proud of your decision to do that.
Right.
But what happens is sometimes people are not true to themselves and they're trying to be like someone else.
Yeah.
My friend Karina has started a home care agency. Look, she's got 400 staff. I want to have 400
Right.
staff, but you don't put systems in place to get you to that place where you can have 400
Right.
staff. So you're chasing your tail.
Yes.
So I think you need to start with being true to yourself. Sit
Yeah.
down and say, what do I actually want?
Yeah.
And once you know that, is then how do I get there?
That is so, so, so true. I've had to sit down with agencies to do that very thing. And that's something you said earlier that I wanted to touch on. My little brain went blank.
Oh,
But look, because a lot of times in the industry, they're not operating as a CEO. They're operating as a caregiver. So they got things that they talking to people about here, things over there. I talk with my hands. So I'm trying in my brain.
I'm the same. I'm trying to keep
keep it here, but it just keeps moving.
It's the passion. It's because you're passionate about what you do. Yeah.
But they have so many different forms of communication everywhere. And they don't really understand, like, look, I am a CEO of a company that's caring for clients and I have caregivers. I don't think it registers that I have to document. If not, it's their word against my word. And then, it doesn't, if it don't look like a duck, sound like a duck, quack like a duck, it isn't a duck.
I think maybe a CEO terrifies them.
Yeah.
Maybe they think CEO, you think Bill Gates, you think Steve Jobs, you think. So maybe let's change it, Karina. Let's change it today. Let's not call them CEOs. Let's say you are a farmer. When you're farming, you are now out there with the goats eating the grass, right? You are up there looking at the landscape. Can my goats go there? Can my cows go there?
Yeah.
Have I got feed? Is there water in the river? That is your job as the owners. You need to be looking up here,
Right,
where all your farm is. Because if you are out there grazing with your animals, who's going to make sure they can get home and get some water? Who's eating at that?
Yes.
So maybe if we don't call them CEOs, let's call them farmers. Maybe they might relate. Maybe
I like that. That's true, because you have to see what's going on.
You got to see what's going on.
Yeah. If you're in it, you can't see what's going on
You
because
can't
you're
see.
in it. You got to
Yeah.
step outside of it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Wow. That's good. I like that analogy. Okay, so man, this is really good conversation. So, what does the day to day look like of an owner actually once they have Nomia HQ? What do their operations look like when they get to step into the role of leading their business instead of chasing it? So, what does it look like when they're the actual farmer?
Right. So, what it looks like is you get control of your time
Mm-hmm.
and your environment.
Mm.
And a lot of people in our sector are hugely women.
Mm.
There are some men operators as well, but there's lots of women in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
And we're managing a lot of things. You've got family, you've got
Yes.
elderly parents, depending on how old you are, you've got church commitments, or all those other things that you're doing. You need information on top. You
Right.
cannot be being tied down to a desk. It enables you to be able to go and see your child's football.
Right.
Because I know that I can watch the football. I just need to go to the restroom, look at my phone, and quickly see what's going on in my business, and then
Right.
carry on, and
Right.
and be present.
Right.
So you get control of your life and of your time.
They get control over their life and over their time. I
Yeah.
love it. So, what makes you and your team show up differently? Because owners watching this have been let down time and time again before. So, they have been just a number before. So, what does it actually look like when they feel like Nomia HQ generally cares when their agency succeeds?
Okay, I'll give you an example, and this is not a successful example,
Mm-hmm.
but a real scenario which happened to really literally last week. So this care agency owner, they had problems with their accountant. They couldn't get hold of them. There was issues with their IT. And anyway, so he picked up the phone to us and said, "Look, I've not managed to run my payroll because I had all these problems. You know, can you help? Can you
Right.
help?" So like, okay, this is what we can do. You do this, do this, do that, right? What his words to me were, "Hey, I'm just ringing to let you know that if that day I was talking to a chat box on a website when I was going through that situation,
Right.
I don't know how I would have got through that situation." So our support is real life people that we talk to. We have real humans. I appreciate we're not here to replace humanity.
Right.
We are here to use technology to
Right.
enhance our human aspects.
Right.
So the difference is that humanity, that community that they get.
That's pretty cool. I like what he said. Basically, it was like he was talking to a real live chat.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
They talk
important.
to real people.
Yeah, because it's like everything was checked off perfectly.
Yes.
Nothing was missed, is what he's saying.
Yes.
Nobody
yes.
missed the beat.
No,
Okay.
no, but just knowing that we're human and they can talk to us.
Yeah, that's important because when
Yeah.
I call somewhere, I need to speak to a person. Don't have
Exactly.
me on the automation
On
because
the
you know what
chat
I'm gonna hit?
On the
I'm gonna
chat
hit
box.
0 until I get someone. Then I'm gonna start hitting pound. I need to speak to a person.
Karina, that's if they even have a phone number.
That is
Because some
so
of them
true.
have actually moved phone numbers now. They have
No, they
chat box everywhere.
do. These companies are getting more, I'm gonna say more modern, and you can't get no phone number. Like, what kind of company is this? Why is your phone number private? Why can't I reach you?
Because of that human touch.
Yeah, it's awful. We
Yeah.
need that touch.
We need that humanity.
Yeah, I'm an in-person person. I like touching and
Yeah.
seeing you. It's just different. You
Yeah,
know, I'm a little old
definitely.
school. I need to see you, you know?
You do, yeah.
So if you were sitting in the chair of every owner watching this right now, knowing everything that you know, what is the very first thing you would do tomorrow morning?
I'll be saying, how can I get hold of Kay? How can we network together?
Yeah.
How can we partner together to deliver excellent care in the community?
Oh man. Okay, I like that. So what would you say to the owner who has been told that struggling is just part of running a home care agency and that the chaos, the cash problems, the sleepless nights, that is just how it is?
Yes, it is like that to some extent. But like I said earlier when we started talking, is you need to run the operations. You have to look at the realities of running this business that we run. And yes, it's a 24/7 business.
Yeah.
But you can manage a timetable for that 24-hour business.
Right,
You know,
right,
you have to be organized. No, it does not need to be chaotic, because if you are chaotic, what about your staff?
right, right. Ooh, I was about to say what's one piece of advice you want to leave them with today, but shoot, I like that one. If you are chaotic, what about your staff?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you set the tone.
You set the tone.
You set the
And they
tone.
need you. They need you to hold them when they're having those difficult moments. They need to be strong to be able to hold them.
Right,
And you can't do that when you're running around in a
right,
disorganized fashion.
right, because you're at your weakest point.
Exactly.
So I would say, Kay, what is one thing you want to? She left y'all with a lot. I would say that you left them with a lot. But
Mm.
what is one thing you would like to leave them with today that they should not forget?
Work with people who have your values.
Mm,
Now, whether it's software, it's an accountant, it's a lawyer,
yeah.
it's a caregiver, it's a restaurant, be with people who share your vision and your values,
Mm,
and put your dollar where that is.
mm. What? Put your dollar where that is. Be with people who share your vision and your values, and put your dollars, put your money where that is. So that means to invest in yourself.
Yes.
I love it. Thank you so much, Kay, for coming on.
Oh, thank
We
you.
may have you on again. You never know.
You
So,
never know, but I'm so excited to be here.
yes, thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you.